Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 1159 of the Juicebox Podcast. Welcome back to everyone who's following my weight loss journey. I know we've been calling this Wegovy Diary, like number 1, number 2, etc. Last one was Wegovy Diary number 9, except I'm not on Wegovy anymore. So am I going to call it Zepbound Diary now? Or am I going to change it to Weight Loss Diary? GLP Weight Loss Diary? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan. If you're a U.S. resident who has type 1 diabetes or is the caregiver of someone with type 1, the T1D Exchange is looking for you and they would like you to fill out a survey. It is just a 10-minute survey. They won't ask you one question you don't already know the answer to. T1dexchange.org/juicebox. Go do that. You'll help other people living with type 1 diabetes. You might help yourself. You're definitely going to be supporting me and you're going to be doing a good thing. T1dexchange.org/juicebox. If you all went and did it right now, you'd never have to hear about this again. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by Dexcom. Dexcom.com/juicebox. Get the brand new Dexcom G7 with my link and get started today. Welcome back, everybody. It is January 13th. This is my, second Saturday injection check-in. I've moved my injection date from Tuesdays to Saturdays. And of course, I've moved my medication from Wegovy 2.4 to Zepbound. And I'm starting with the 5 milligram, I think. Let me look. Yep, 5 milligrams. Apparently it goes up like 7.5, 10. I might go up to 15. I'm not sure. But I got the 5 here. As you all know, if you don't know, I guess I should say, go listen to the other 9 diaries about my journey with Wegovy from March of 2023 until January of 2024, where I've lost just about 38, 39, 40 pounds. It was dancing around there. I was putting a little on, back and forth. I had, as they say in the business, plateaued. And that plateau went on for quite some time. And so I asked my doctor about options, and she switched me to Zepbound. Zepbound, of course, is the weight loss version of Mounjaro. And they, of course, are the same exact drug, just branded differently for insurance purposes and dosing reasons. I am here to report that I have weighed in this morning. But before I tell you about that weigh-in, let me tell you about this. First week on Zepbound, now this is after being on Wegovy for quite some time, obviously, I didn't have a ton of changes in my body. I did start going to the bathroom more frequently than I was in the last few weeks with Wegovy. The bathroom being the number 2 poo. You understand what I'm saying? And so that frequency, I think, helped keep things moving. And my stomach feels emptier than it did on Wegovy. I don't know exactly how to explain this yet. When I started Wegovy, it started with this full feeling. It felt like food almost stopped 8 inches below my neck. That went away eventually. And now with Zepbound, when I wake up in the morning, I have an actual hunger in my stomach. My stomach's churning like it's empty. And I can feel it. It's not mentally dragging me to the kitchen or anything. But I'm oh, I should eat for sure. But this is my first physical sign of hunger because on Wegovy, I didn't have many physical signs of hunger. Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by Dexcom, and I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the continuous glucose monitor that my daughter wears, the Dexcom G7. The Dexcom G7 is small, it is accurate, and it is easy to use and wear. Arden has been wearing a Dexcom G7 since almost day one of when they came out, and she's having a fantastic experience with it. We love the G6, but man, is the G7 small. The profile, so much closer to your body. The weight, you can't really feel it. And that's coming from me, and I've worn one. I've worn a G6, I've worn a G7. I found both of the experiences to be lovely, but my gosh, is that G7 tiny. And the accuracy has been fantastic. Arden's A1Cs are right where we expect them to be, and we actually use the Dexcom Clarity app to keep track of those things. That app is built right in to Arden's Dexcom G7 app on her iPhone. Oh, did you not know about that? You can use an iPhone or an Android device to see your Dexcom data. If you have a compatible phone, your Dexcom goes right to the Dexcom app. You don't have to carry the receiver. But if you don't want to use the phone, that's fine. Use the Dexcom receiver. It's up to you. Choice is yours with Dexcom. Dexcom.com/juicebox. Anyway, I weighed myself this morning. Now, last week, on the 6th of January, I weighed 194.8 pounds. Today, on the 13th, 192.6 pounds. Now, I don't know how you guys are with the math. 194.8, 192.6, that's 2.2 pounds, my little friends. I don't know the last time I lost 2 pounds in a week. Let me go all the way back to the beginning. My first week of Wegovy, I was 233.4, and then I went down to 232.6. That is not quite 2 pounds. The following week, I went to 229.4. So the following week, 229, 230, 31, 32. I lost like 3.2 pounds that week. All right, fair enough. Well, geez, if I lose 3 pounds next week, that'd be crazy. Anyway, I was saying to a friend this morning who listens to this, so hey, Vicky, how are you? I was saying to a friend this morning that the first 40 pounds were like life-changing for me. But these last, what I expect to be 15 pounds, I think are going to be just mind-numbing. I looked really hard at myself in the mirror today, and I can see places where I'm fat. Like, it's not like, oh, you could lose some weight, Scott, or blah, blah, blah. Like, there's, deposits, bags of fat on the front of me still. There's a bag of fat on my stomach still. I'm holding it in my hands right now. It's talking to you. Hello. Yeah, I'm squeezing it like Jim Carrey in that movie. What do you do with his butt? I'm doing it with my belly. So I've got what I would consider to be 4 handfuls of fat on my stomach, like the equivalent of. Once that's gone, I can't think of another place on my body where I'm going to be like, oh my God, this is unhealthy. So then I think it's going to really turn into a maintenance and, strengthening situation. But let's go through my other numbers, which I have not looked at yet. I'm going to look at them with you right now. Let's see what the Renfro scale said happened to me this week. Well, obviously my weight dropped. My BMI went from 28.8 to 28.5. Body fat, 26.4 to 25.8. My body water measurement went up significantly. How about that? From 53 to 53.6. It doesn't usually climb like that. That's so interesting over this last week. It's gone up really drastically. Same with skeletal muscle, 47.5 to 47.9. My BMR dropped from 1778 to 1769. Fat-free body weight. Wow, 143.6 to 142.8. That's like a half a pound there. Subcutaneous fat, 23.1 to 22.4. Ooh, my visceral fat dropped for the first time hold on a second. God damn. Last time my visceral fat dropped, it dropped from 13 to 12 on September 8th. It has been riding at 12 that whole time. Now it's 11. We take that. We like that. Muscle mass is holding 135.8 from 136.4. Bone mass holding 7.2. Protein rose 16.7 to 16.9. And my metabolic age, well, it's still 56. And I'm 52. Well, we're getting there, right? Anyway, I've still got a long way to go. Out on the main screen, I'm tracking all those things just easily color-coded, green, blue, yellow, red, levels of okayedness. I have, let's see, of the 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 things it's tracking, I am now in the green in 7 of them. Yellow still in 3, which, they're the big ones, subcutaneous, BMI, and weight. And my body fat, of course, is still in the red at 25.8%. All right. Well, there's a lot more green than yellow and red. So that's good. But my weight, my BMI, my subcutaneous fat, and my body fat are all, I'm obese still. I've lost 40.8 pounds since I started this thing. I've lost 9.2% body fat. My BMI has gone down 6.1, and I'm still obese. Okay. Well, I'll see you next Saturday. I'm Zepbound and down, loaded up in trucking. We're going to do what they say can't be done. Hey, nobody steal that. And Eli Lilly, if you're listening, if you go get the rights to that song and don't cut me in, you're motherfuckers. That's right. You know Eastbound and Down from, what is that? Is that I have to shoot the Zepbound still. Is that what is that? The band? What goddamn movie am I thinking of with Burt Reynolds? How come I can't think? Oh my God. Hold on a second. Burt Reynolds. It's Smokey and the Bandit. God damn it. I can't believe it. I typed it in and then I remembered it. Now you feel like I looked it up. Smokey and the Bandit. There's that song, Eastbound and Down, right? Hold on a second. Let's find the lyrics. Eastbound and Down lyrics. God bless Google, unless they're stealing our souls. Jerry Reed, Eastbound and Down, loaded up in trucking. We're going to do what they say can't be done. We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound. Just watch old Bandit run. Here's what you do. You change eastbound to Zepbound. It's genius, right? Zepbound and Down, loaded up in trucking. We're going to do what they say can't be done. We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm Zepbound. Just watch old Scotty run. All right, now let's shoot this thing. Seriously, Lily, spend the money, sell the Zepbound, cut me in. That was genius. Also buy an ad. All right, so this one's different than the Gvoke. You guys, I did it one time before. I'm going to do it again. Last time I got a little drop of blood at the end, but it was the teeniest, tiniest little bit. Didn't hurt really. So you pop the cap, and then you put the little thing on the belly, which of course we still have. I'm going to get my glasses on because I don't want to hit. All right, I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't want to hit a stretch mark. They can not feel good. All right, I got a spot. I'm going to use the lucky spot from last week. It was worth 2.2 pounds. You hold that on there. Then there's a little lock on the end. You click the lock. Lock is now unlocked. Put the business on the Jimmy. Some of you send to me does it hurt? And I'm like, no, but if it did, who cares? 40 pounds. Ready? Let's go. A little bit of pressure. You don't feel the needle. You feel the pressure of the juice going in. But that's that life-giving Zepbound juice, so who cares? And I got no blood this time. I'm out. January 20. It's a Saturday. I'm here. I have my little app in front of me. I go back to the 6th. Just to tell you that on the 6th of January, I was 194.8. Then, of course, you heard from me on the 13th. Now, on the 13th, I was 192.6. That's a week ago today. I thought, wow, this is great. Like motion, right? Do you want to guess how much I weigh today? Well, this morning, I was 190.8. And 2 days ago, hit a low of 190. But I don't think I ate enough the day before, so I ate a little more and, had some more protein and everything and whatever. Anyway, 190.8 versus the 13th when I was 192.6. That is just about 2 pounds in a week on the Zepbounder. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Body fat fell, I think, a significant amount, 0.4. Body water rising. Skeletal muscle rising from last week, from 47.9 to 48.2. All right, what else we got here? Fat-free body weight is down from 142.8 to 142.2. Subcutaneous fat down from 22.4 to 22.1. Visceral fat stayed the same. Doing well here. Okay, listen. Let me tell you what I know so far about the Zepbound from this week. Good job with my hunger. Was never hungry. I still experience that emptier feeling when there's nothing in my stomach, but it's not painful. It's not like, oh no, just I can lay down and feel like, oh, there's not a lot going on in my stomach right now. Bathroom been consistent every day. That's good. And I've eaten a couple. My wife's 50th birthday was this week. We had cake. I think I had sorbet 2 nights ago. Last night for dinner, I had rice and like a concoction of rice, steak, shrimp, and chicken that I sauteed up, made myself. What else have I been eating? A lot of eggs. I eat a lot of eggs in the morning. I don't even scramble them. I whip them up and then I kind of put them in the pan flat. And instead of fluffing them, I fold them. So almost like a fat omelet. I mixed in some sausage once this week with it. I had bacon once this week. I don't eat a lot of vegetables. Had some salad, shrimp, fair amount of shrimp, coconut yogurt. What else did I eat this week? Shrimp, coconut yogurt, shrimp, something out of the freezer. Can't think of what I took out of the freezer. Anyway, I'm not hungry. I look great. All the weight that I've lost over the last couple weeks has come out of my midsection. I got no complaints. We're going to try Zepbound again today, of course. 5 milligrams. Pop off the cap. Cap is off. Look down at my ever shrinking belly. Choose a spot. I could use glasses for this. You know what I mean? My spectacles. Want to make sure I can see what I'm doing. Ooh, I see a spot I like. All right. Turn off the lock. Cross your fingers and hope for 2 more pounds. If I get into the 180s, that's going to be insane. I genuinely don't know the last time I weighed 180 something pounds. I have no idea. 20 years old, maybe? Has to be. I don't think I've ever been this low. You can see a real... Let me shoot this, then I'll tell you. Hold on. Ready? That was a little pinchy. Whatever. I mean, up until the Zepbound where I've got motion again, and I mean, I'm, 5 pounds lighter than I was like 3 weeks ago. I mean, I've lost weight everywhere, but I'm starting to see like definition in my thighs. That's crazy. And weight is still coming out of my midsection and my, what would you call this here? Side boob? Yeah, that's almost completely gone. I almost don't have any side boob. Pretty impressive, I know. Fat on my back is going away. I still have love handle stuff here, but mostly it's love handle. I'm squeezing myself as I'm talking to you, so I can tell you. Love handles, belly from like sternum down. I have more of like a hanging belly than like a turtle shell classic like beer belly. I think I described it as like 4 handfuls of fat the other day. It still is, but it's 4 smaller handfuls. The loose skin on the inside of my thighs is disappearing, and the loose skin under my arms and to my like under my bicep, like when you make the Popeye thing, back into my armpit, there was a lot of hang there, but there's significantly less. I can't tell you how excited I am to like, I wish I could fast forward 2 months right now. I'd love to see where I'm going to be. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'm Zepbound and down. Saturday again, kids. Today is January 27th. I am Scott, and this is my Zepbound diary. I don't have a lot of deep thoughts this week, other than, well, I went to get a pair of glasses today to, a place I've been going forever. I actually happen to know the doctor, so I don't see him very often, but we're friendly. He knows who I am, more than just a little bit. And I walked in, and the guy at the counter, he looks up, he goes, hello. He looks again and he goes, Scott, hello. And I said, hey, how are you? And he said, have you lost weight? And I said, yes. And he goes, since I've seen you last? And I said, yeah. He said, oh, you look great. I was like, thank you very much. Then we started having this conversation. Turns out the lady behind the counter is using Ozempic for her type 2 diabetes. She's only been using it for about 5 weeks. We spoke for a while. I gave her some pointers. Then the doctor comes out of the back. Oh my gosh, haven't seen him in a little bit. He looks at me and he goes, Scott, you look like a completely different person. And he's not wrong. It was really nice to hear. Today is the 27th, as I said. I have lost Point 6, 0.8, almost a pound since last week. I was 190.8 on the 20th. Today I'm 189.4. You have no idea. But yesterday I was 188.6. 188.6. I couldn't believe when it went to 188. Anyway, I don't have a lot to say other than somebody said I look like a whole new person. I told them I feel like a whole new person. I explained what I was doing. I am not embarrassed or ashamed. It was nice to be able to educate people instead of listening to them say the rather ill-informed stuff I hear about these GLP medications from people who just want to say stuff like, you should try harder, have some willpower, stuff like that. People who don't get the big picture. Anyway, I got some Zepbound here, 5 milligrams. Going to put it in the belly right now. Cap coming off. Unlocking the pen. Looking for that spot. Ooh, how's that look? I just touched it with my dirty finger. No, I can't use it. Different spot. You're like, what's on your finger? I'll tell you in a second. Hold on, this spot looks good, but it's dark in here. I want to make sure there's no stretch marks. Don't like to shoot the needle through a stretch mark. That's not good. I don't have like crazy stretch marks, but better safe than sorry. Okay. Body's still reshaping very nicely. I look terrific in clothes. I've had to start wearing like a little bit of a compression shirt to, I don't know, I think that's vanity actually, because I don't actually have to, but I'm trying to train my body to, you know what I mean, tighten up. Anyway, Zepbound 5 milligrams in 4, 3, 2, 1. All done, baby. All done. This week, there was a meal, like a big meal. Other than that, I was pretty good. I don't think I ate enough food this week, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to try to rectify that, get back on a good way. I think what happened was my wife's 50th came up. We went to a restaurant. Then I ate some stuff. I was like, I shouldn't have eaten that. And then the next day I kind of like didn't eat to make up for it, which wasn't the right thing to do. I should just got back on my schedule. So I'll do that tomorrow. I promise. I will wake up and have me a couple of eggs and get my day on the way. I will see you in a week. I'm Zepbound and down. February 3rd. I did what I said I was going to do. I ate more eggs for breakfast, had some protein with it. A number of times this week I did just eggs with shrimp, like pre-cooked shrimp. They were from another meal. I did eggs with, I don't think I had bacon this week. No, but I feel like I had something else at one point. Maybe in a wrap. I might have put it in a wrap with mushrooms one time, shrimp. Anyway, I was doing that for breakfast. Throughout the week, last night I had Chinese food. Not a ton of it, but I did. I had some General's chicken, fried rice, and I had sorbet last night as well. 2 days ago, I had a cookie. And this week, I also had chocolate at some point this week, like a half of a handful of like chocolate chips. They were good. I don't remember when. Dinners this week. We did pasta with sausage, meatballs. We did a shrimp thing, like a stir fry. What else did we do this week? I had cold sandwiches at one point, deli sandwiches. I ate them a couple of days this week because I like had one and then I saved the rest of it. And I think I had pudding this week, like when I was like having a sweet moment. I think that's it. Anyway, wait till you hear how much weight I lost. It's crazy. Let's not stretch it out. I weigh 188 pounds today. That is 1.4 pounds less than last week. That's like 1.5 pounds almost. It's binoculars. I was going to say redonkulous. I don't know what happened there. March 28th, I weighed myself for the first time, came on here. And since then, that's 2023. Today's February 3rd, 2024. I am 45.4 pounds less than I was on March 28th. My BMI is down 6.8 and my body fat is down 10.2%. My visceral fat is an 11 now, which is like acceptable. Acceptable. Look at me being acceptable. Fat-free body weight, now acceptable at 141.5. Got some other things here. Still getting a lot more green on this scale. Body water, bone mass, protein, BMR, muscle mass, all green. Visceral fat, green. Fat-free body weight, green. Still a ways to go on weight, BMI, subcutaneous fat, body fat. My skeletal mass is climbing, still just a little low. The next time it moves, I'll be in a standard range. My metabolic age, of course, is still 3 years older than I am, which I don't love. Not for nothing. Another great week. Bumped into some more people I haven't seen in over a year. 5 minutes after they asked me how I was, they were like, how do I get that? What is that exactly? They had type 2 diabetes. We're all interested in it. I'm going to go out today. I have to buy new pants again. I'm going to go to a waist size that I don't think I've ever worn as an adult. That's incredible. Like, really crazy. Large t-shirts that 3 weeks ago I thought, oh, I should have bought these too soon. And now they fit. This is just my own theory, but I've been wearing kind of restrictive undergarment, like almost like a spandex one, almost like a spandex shirt to hold my like midsection in. I'm hoping that helps with like, you know, shrinkage and tightening. I really think I'm prepared to do some exercise finally. I've done a number of things around the house recently that have not resulted in any windedness, no sore knees, no nothing. Like really, my feet haven't hurt in a while. So I feel like I can get into that slowly. Eating was fine this week. Like I said, kind of a boring week here working. I don't think I was out this week besides the takeout last night that we had. Yeah, I don't think I was in a restaurant this week. Pretty much it, really, other than to say I'm still a little put off by people saying you're going to lose too much. You have to stop. You know, then I have to point out to them, I am not healthy still. My body is not at a healthy size. I'm just thinner than you're used to seeing me. My face, I think, is holding up, which is good. I don't have droopy skin on my face, which I guess I was a little concerned about when this all started, but it hasn't been a problem. I'm seeing more tightening under my arms of loose skin. Inside of my thighs is tightening up more. All in all, it's going amazing. And I've lost, I mean, the jump start from the switch from Wegovy to Zepbound is, you know, hard to put into words, but I think over 7 pounds in what has it been 6 weeks now? That's beautiful. I have a lot of episodes coming up in the podcast with people with diabetes using GLP medications, type 2s and type 1s. They'll be spread out over the year. I really hope you catch them. Teasing out for you, one of them is a teenage girl who's had type 1 diabetes for 3 years and is down to now only injecting basal insulin, and the significant drop in even the basal insulin is insane. Definitely a type 1. Really, really cool story. She'll be on, well, her mom will be on to tell us about it soon enough. I hope you check that out. If you're finding this and you don't normally listen to the podcast, you should probably try the Facebook group too, Juicebox Podcast, Type 1 Diabetes. Great conversations going on in there about Ozempic and Mounjaro, Wegovy, Zepbound, GLPs, etc. Pretty much it, kids. I'm going to shoot this and go live my life. Got some Zepbound here, 5 millis. Take off the cap. Unlock the pen. Find a place. I don't want to move from the place I've been doing. Feels like it's good luck. Though I don't believe in that. I'm absolutely going to do that. All right, I'm Zepbound and down. Here I go. That was easy, wasn't it? Ooh, little blood that time. Little drop. A dot. Boop. Boop. I got it with a tissue. A tissue. Hey, you're not from Philly. You don't know that. But tissue, Oprah is Ofra. Bill Cosby, but I guess we don't talk about him anymore. Eggles, water, bagel, Wawa. You know what I'm saying. All right. There's another Zepbound in the trash. Another week on my way, hopefully of losing another 1.5 pounds. I have adjusted my goals again in my app. I've put my goal weight to 169. I don't know if I'll actually get there or not, but I had my goal previously set at 180 and I'm 188 now. Figure, well, if I'm pounding it, I mean, maybe I can get to 180 in a couple of months, right? Maybe. I'll be damned. This stuff's, it might be magic. You know, I want to mention, and I'll get out of here quick. I know it's not going to work for everybody. And I hear people online like, I saw somebody had a bowel obstruction. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, everything's not going to work for everybody. If you tried it and it didn't work for you, I'm sorry. I really am. But to say you're going to get a bowel obstruction, because you heard it on the news once is a little ridiculous. We can't take into account everything we don't know when people tell stories like that. That's why I'm trying to tell you everything I'm doing here, and what my situation was prior. If you already had gastroparesis and you tried to use one of these drugs, I could see where you might end up with some real digestive issues because your digestion is already, very slow from the gastroparesis. Then the medication slows it down more. I can see where you could end up with a problem. You also don't know if people are supplementing correctly, if they're drinking enough water, moving around enough. You don't get sometimes you don't get their honest evaluation of what they were doing. Just, I used this thing and then I had a problem. Doesn't work. So see that in all walks of life. But, before you go running around telling people not to do something or not even to look into it, you might want to have some real either personal experience or listen to somebody who does. I've been using this now for a month shy of, maybe 2 months shy of a year. Different GLP meds. Started with Wegovy, switched to Zepbound about 6 weeks ago. Like I said, I'm 45 pounds down. The changes to my actual life are amazing. And I don't just mean like that I look better. I feel better. It's psychologically, it's freeing. There's a lot going into this. My body's working better. My elimination works better. I'm retaining my nutrients more efficiently, but I'm also, I'm taking vitamins. I drink AG1. I didn't just inject the stuff and then head off to eat the way I, have a cheeseburger and go, I can't believe this didn't work. No, I adjusted along with it. If you're interested in finding out more, I would if I was you, and pressure your doctor. If they don't seem interested, send them this if you like. Don't sit idly by. If you think this can help you, give it a whirl. Okay, this is the last entry for this episode, and I have a surprise. Not a great surprise, but an interesting one. So today should be February 10th, Saturday, but I forgot to take my injection yesterday. So instead, today is February 11th, Sunday. Now, yesterday I got up. I was on the right path. I jumped on the scale so I'd have my number. So when I recorded, I'd know how much I weighed. I weighed 187.8 pounds, which was just 0.2 pounds fewer than the week prior on the 3rd. I had a moment during the week where I was 187, but a pretty uneventful week as far as weight loss goes. I did start adding in body weight squats into my routine this week. But other than that, not a lot. Didn't really do much. Missed my breakfast a couple of times this week because I had to record early. So I was eating like twice a day instead of 3 times a day. Probably drank more of a like carbonated water I have once in a while instead of regular water. Anyway, that's not where the surprise is. Yesterday, Saturday, I got up. My whole family kind of slept in and I did things. I replanted like plants into different pots. And then I got it into my head to make homemade potato chips for the Super Bowl today. So I spent a few hours cutting up, potatoes, soaking them, salting, frying, the whole thing. I find it relaxing. I'll probably have a handful of the potato chips tonight, but I found it relaxing. I enjoy it. This is not the point. Point is that I didn't eat breakfast. And then, maybe 2:00, my wife, my son and I, we went out to lunch. And I had a half of a sandwich, a half a Cubano sandwich. So what is that? Ham, pork, right? Pork, pickle, piece of cheese, mustard, about peppers, about like that, right? I had half of it. I couldn't eat the whole thing. It came with French fries. I had 3 French fries. And I had a bowl of lobster bisque. Not a big bowl. Came home. I had about 20 jelly beans in the afternoon. Somebody had jelly beans. I was like, I haven't had jelly beans in a while. And I had a little bit of sorbet at night. This was not a great eating day. This is not my point of telling the story. It's also not a bad eating day. I drank iced tea, unsweetened, during the day. I might have had a can of diet soda at some point because we were out thirsty and that's all that was available at this place. Again, this is not the point. You want to know what the point is? I woke up this morning. I said, I got to do my injection. I want to record the episode. I've gained, if you've been listening to this for a while, you've heard me talk about that I feel like I might have a GLP deficiency or something is being replaced by something in this GLP. I haven't been able to explain it my entire life. I just eat like a normal person and I gain weight, right? So I didn't inject it on Saturday like I should have. So I'm at the end of a 7-day, like this med's basically out of my body now. And although I guess I shouldn't just say that, I don't really know what the half-life is of the med. Maybe I should check before I say that out loud. Half-life Zepbound. But I'm going to guess. Yeah, here we go. This is from Lilly. Time in body after discontinuation, because the half-life of tirzepatide, whatever they want to call it, it's a medical word, is approximately 5 days. If you stop using it, it should be gone from your... Hold on. It should be gone from your... No, I'm not a healthcare professional. Can I just get on the page, please? Is it not going to give me the information because I'm not a healthcare professional? Come on, Lily. All right. So I had to go from the blurb on Google. But it looks like, half-life Mounjaro, again, I'm hearing 5. It says 5 days here. So I'm shooting it every 7 days, which probably means that the last 2 days are less efficacious to begin with. But by the 7th day, I guess it's gone. Anyway, 187.8 Saturday morning, even though I didn't shoot the medication. This morning, I got up, went to the bathroom, so, offloaded anything I could. 189.4. I weigh almost 2 pounds more today than I did yesterday. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist, but that is something I saw my whole life. And this is the first time I've missed this medication since I began in March of 2023. Missed it, meaning didn't shoot it 7 days like I was supposed to. So this is the 8th day. And I just thought that was amazing and you guys would enjoy this. This is going to be the last entry into this episode. So I'm going to put it up soon for you and start a new one where you'll find out, I guess, what happens 7 days from now. So I'm going to uncap the pen, unlock the pen, find that little spot that I like to shoot it in. I'm going to go on the other side today, I think. There we go. In 3, 2, 1. Ooh, let's go, Zepbound. Get in there. Do the good work. Anyway, I mean, it's not quite 2 pounds, but it's at 1.6 pounds. What did I just say? That's a lot. I mean, I didn't eat, as far as calories or quality of food goes or anything like that, anything that I haven't eaten while I was on the medication. So anyway, I'm Zepbound and up today, but I imagine the next time I talk to you, I will weigh probably 3 pounds less than this today. I guess we'll find out. Thanks so much for listening. I'll be back soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. I'd like to thank Dexcom for sponsoring this episode of the Juicebox Podcast. And at the same time, I want to remind you that seeing your blood glucose levels in real time, not only the number, but the speed and the direction, is going to help you in ways that you maybe can't imagine right now. You should definitely check it out at dexcom.com/juicebox. I know that Facebook has a bad reputation, but please give the private Facebook group for the Juicebox Podcast a healthy once-over. Juicebox Podcast, Type 1 Diabetes. The group now has 47,000 members in it. It gets 150 new members a day. It is completely free, and at the very least, you can watch other people talk about diabetes. And everybody is welcome. Type 1, Type 2, gestational, loved ones, everyone is welcome. Go up into the featured tab of the private Facebook group, and there you'll see lists upon lists of all of the management series that are available to you for free in the Juicebox Podcast. Becoming a member of that group, I really think it will help you. It will at least give you community. You'll be able to kind of lurk around, see what people are talking about, pick up some tips and tricks. Maybe you can ask a question or offer some help. Juicebox Podcast, Type 1 Diabetes on Facebook. The Juicebox Podcast is full of so many series that you want and need. After Dark, Ask Scott and Jenny, Algorithm Pumping, Bold Beginnings, Defining Diabetes, Defining Thyroid, the Diabetes Pro Tip series for Type 1, the Diabetes Variable series, Mental Wellness, Type 2 Diabetes Pro Tip, How We Eat. Oh my goodness, there's so much at juiceboxpodcast.com. Head up into that menu and pick around. And if you're in the private Facebook group, just go to the feature tab for lists upon lists of all of the series. Always free, always helpful. If you're not already subscribed or following in your favorite audio app, please take the time now to do that. It really helps the show. And get those automatic downloads set up so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. The episode you just heard was professionally edited by Wrong Way Recording. WrongWayRecording.com.